today we have got a Primus stove. Probably not something that a lot of people get a chance to see, and I've got one here in the original box from Stockholm, Sweden. Obviously it's been around a little bit, but yeah, you can see that it says Primus on it. And everything fits in here. It's pretty cool because it even actually has the original instruction card with it, which was pretty awesome. So you can see that everything fits in there relatively snugly, to the point of where they actually give you how you should actually pack the box back up once you're done. So that's kind of cool. And it runs on kerosene. And so we're going to go ahead and fire it up because that's just kind of fun. So you could see the whole assembly process here. It's really pretty simple. There's not a lot to it. That's the whole burner and generator and everything all together in one. It's got a little bit of brass inside of it, which helps kind of vaporize the kerosene. So that just screws right in there. You can crank it down with the enclosed Primus wrench, and which also says proudly on the back, Sweden. I polished this a while back, and I use a lead washer, so it just takes a little bit of a tweak. So this is a Primus number 96, and it has a little pump, and then of course the relief valve, and a filler cap. Yeah, that's pretty much it to it. What this actually is, this cap goes in here when you take the burner out, so you can fill this full of fuel, take this cap, tighten it down, and you can store the fuel in the font and transport it full of fuel without it leaking, because obviously when that's not on there, it'll leak fuel everywhere. In the meantime, the filler cap just stores, well, not really a filler cap, I guess it's really a blind cap, stores on the side right there. And you can tighten it up with the wrench to make sure it doesn't go off and running on you. All I had to do when I got this was replace the seal. So there was a seal to be replaced in here, but the pump works fine and all that stuff. I actually haven't fired this thing up in about probably 4 or 5 years, so it's going to be a journey for you and me. So we'll see if it actually goes like we expect it to. So got a little bit of kerosene here. We'll fill it up with, I think I got 100 mils. That's probably an awful lot, but we'll just go ahead and get it in there. Avoid putting the dregs in the bottom. Tap this up. With these, since when you preheat them, they'll start to heat the font and they'll start to try to push kerosene out. So when you start them out, you want to make sure that the air relief valve on these is open. So I leave that open. And then we'll just assemble the rest of the stove. It actually even came with a little spirit can. So this was an amazingly complete set that I found. So there's that. There is the preheat cup, which simply, I don't know if you can see over the vise there, but hopefully you can see that, the preheat cup. The actual burner kind of basket, and then the flame diffuser, which has also the Primus logo on it. So that sits right on top of there. You're like, well, how do you hold the pot up? Well, you've got these, which, fit right in like that. You can tell it's been a while since I've assembled this thing. And it has a tip cleaner, which is still the original one from the lantern. And the print date on this piece of paper here is maybe it's 1959. I'm not sure. I really don't actually know the date of this one. And then it also came with a windshield, which you usually don't see these because they kind of get lost, but this basically goes around it and is on a windshield for when you're preheating it. So we won't be using that today because it's not necessary, but if it was windy and cold, to be able to get this thing to start, you definitely have to use this. So we'll just get this out of the way. No need to have it there, and hopefully I will be able to fold it back up. There we go. Do that, and in here. Let's see if you guys can see this. I don't know if I'm blocking it or not. Oh yeah, you can barely see it. Maybe I'll just spin this vise out of the way to give a little bit more of a view. That's a lot better. And now I can actually work back more in the center of the desk. So actually what I'll probably do, I'll remove these two because they're not really necessary for lighting it, and that way you just have a little easier access. You'd probably preheat it with those off there anyway, just to make it easy. So, valve's open, it's not pumped. I'm going to put some denatured alcohol in the preheat cup, and we're going to light that, and then we're going to wait. So there you go. So I've got actually a few of these. I have this one, which is the smallest one that I own. I have another one, which is quite a bit bigger, but it needs some help. So this is the big one, which completely shadows the other one. This is almost a Primus, also a Primus, but the NRV, the non-return valve in this, is not working, and it leaks. And so when you try to pump it up, it just doesn't pump up. And I haven't been able to remove it because the tool that I got to go in there to remove it, it won't remove it. So I actually have to unsolder it, pull it out, go it from the backside, replace the pip with it, and then it'll work fine. This one also has a silent burner on it as opposed to the roar, which is on here, and you'll understand why that is later. But yeah, so this is the one of the next projects. So yeah, still bubbling away there. Let's grab this other mid-sized one while it's doing that. There's another one in the box like that, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just a little bigger. And I don't have the instruction card with this one, but it's basically the same concept. We'll do a light up on that some other time. Ooh, about out of preheat. Let that go a little long. It's okay. It just went out, so what we'll do, we'll just put a little bit more in here to wet its whistle. Oh, that little more turned out to be a lot, so we'll do that. And I think right now what I can do is actually close this valve, and some of that will start to push fuel up into the generator portion, and we'll start hearing a little bit of noise. But the preheat fuel gets hot pretty fast and it boils pretty quick, so it won't be very long. But we'll probably give it a few pumps here, and I haven't even checked to see if it's lubed, see if it's actually going to make pressure, which it doesn't really seem to be. There she goes. So we'll let the rest of the alcohol burn off, which will kind of clean it up a little bit. But yeah, basically I have not done a single thing to this thing in 4 years, and just basically put fuel in it, preheat it, and now you see why she's a roarer. But that's it. It's pretty cool. Little tiny stove. Makes a lot of noise, but super simple kind of design. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this a little bit of a light up here with the Primus 96. And until next time, keep them lit.